I have good news and I have bad news. Good news is I have asthma. Bad news is I have asthma. So you might be wondering, why is it both a good and a bad news that you have asthma? Well, simply put, because I have an F ton of tumors in my lungs. And by the way, the F stands for fudge, in case you were wondering. No, the reason why this is both bad news and good news is because if what I'm experiencing, the difficulty breathing, the coughing, obviously not all of it, but if part of it is due to the asthma as opposed to just the cancer, that means we can use something to treat the asthma and lessen the effects, make it easier for me to breathe and hopefully cough less. That way, all I have to deal with is not, you know, everything combined. It's just like, let's remove the asthma part and keep the rest. So, which is basically, result of all these tumors in my lungs, which obviously, you know, shrinks the amount of space available in my lungs to draw breath. Plus, it presses on bronchi and stuff like that, and it just makes it more difficult in general. So, that obviously is part of it. That has not changed, and that will not change until the tumors start to shrink. But now that we've discovered, hey, you know what? Turns out you have asthma, which in a way is not surprising because I had asthma when I was young, and then it went away. And given everything that happens, it's like, yeah, okay, it makes sense that everything I'm going through would have kind of like re triggered my asthma. However, the way the doctor explained it, or the pneumologist I saw this morning, the way he explained it was you've probably always had asthma. It's just because it eventually kind of went away and it got like down to a level where it's so low that it's barely affecting you that you just assumed you didn't have asthma, even though technically you still did. And now, because of everything you're going through, well, that has been reactivated to a higher level. So now you've become aware of it once again, kind of like when you were young. So that's kind of the explanation I was given. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Point is, odds are I probably have asthma once again, like I did when I was young, which is bad because, well, having asthma sucks. Plus, I already have so many other things to deal with. Having one other thing to deal with is not ideal. But as I mentioned, it's also good news because we're able to use a different way to treat the asthma than we would the symptoms of the cancer and the treatments and everything else. So hopefully that will help alleviate the breathing and the coughing issues. Not completely, I don't expect it to go away completely. And he was very clear about that. He's like, don't expect to go back to feeling like you were 4 years ago. But I'm optimistic that this new approach could help. And this new approach is pretty much exactly what the person who administered the lung test at the end of 2024 suggested that they would probably do, which is prescribe to me a different kind of inhaler. So instead of Ventolin, it's a different kind of medication. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember the name. They gave me the prescription. I have it here somewhere. But for now, it's not really important, the name, I forget. But there's two things that come in this inhaler. So there's this, whatever it is that is like Ventolin, except that unlike Ventolin, it lasts more than a couple hours. It lasts, 24 hours, basically. So it's like all I have to do is just take 2 puffs in the morning, 2 puffs at night, and that will coat my bronchi and my lungs and everything in that substance. Before it was Ventolin, now it's this new medication. I don't know the name exactly. I'll have to let you know once I, receive the actual medication. But basically, that's what it does. And by coating everything, my lungs and my bronchi and everything, it just makes it easier to breathe. So that's the first part. So it's basically the same thing as Ventolin, it just lasts longer and has a different name. The second thing is It also contains steroids, but very, very low sorry, not steroids, cortisone, but very, very low levels. When I heard the word like, sorry, not steroid. Why do I keep thinking steroid? Um, Cortisone. There we go. When I heard the word cortisone, I just flashed back to when I was taking Decadron to reduce the swelling in my brain, and how difficult it was for me to get off of that because my body just kind of like got so used to it that it stopped producing what naturally it produces. So when I tried to stop, my body just was no longer producing it. And of course, you need that. So it's like the body was like, whoa, no, 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 like I'm freaking out. I need this stuff. So it's like it took a very long time to be able to get back down to a low level and eventually stop. So I'm like, whenever I hear those trigger words, I'm always very careful and I always make sure to ask questions like, hey, can I become addicted to this? How did this work exactly? What's the level and everything? And he's like, don't worry, it's not like Decadron. Your body won't get, addicted to it or used to it, and you won't have any trouble getting off of it. And also, it's a very, very low level, so the odds of it affecting you are very, very low. All it's going to do is reduce the inflammation in your lungs, which will in turn make it easier for you to breathe. So that's kind of like the two things it does. It coats your lungs and your bronchi in that substance that's like Ventolin, just slightly different, that lasts longer, allows you to breathe better, as well as having the I want to say testosterone. Great, now I've gone another step further. See, so many medications at some point I'm like, I get confused. I forget which is which. Plus, there's always the medical name, then there's the common name. Anyway, cortisone. There we go. So there's the cortisone as well that reduces the inflammation. That's really how it works. Plus, the advantage of this, kind of like Ventolin, I have a limited amount of puffs that I can take every day. And for the Ventolin, it was 8. For this new one, I'm taking 2 in the morning, 2 at night, so 4 in total per day. But like the Ventolin, I'm allowed to have up to 8. Sorry, I made myself laugh there with the finger thing. So I can use up to 8 in a 24-hour period. That way, if there's a period during the day or a period during the night, where I especially have trouble breathing, well, then I can use it, a few more times. So the goal, obviously, is just take it twice in the morning, twice at night. But I do have an extra option of, if I need it, I'm able to take it 2 more times during that 24-hour period. So that's pretty much the new approach. They faxed the prescription to my pharmacy. I'm just waiting for them to call to confirm they got it, to prepare it, and then come deliver it. And as soon as I start taking that, then I'm going to start taking the Ventolin. That's pretty much how it works. So yeah, sorry I didn't remember the name. I should have been more prepared for the video and had the prescription in front of me. That way I could have looked at the name. I just completely forgot. Sorry, that was my fault. That was on me. But yeah, if you have any questions in the future, just let me know. It's like once I receive it, I'll just have it there. I take it every day, so it's like I'll know the name. I'll be able to tell you if you're curious about that. So that has been the update. Definitely kind of a good news, bad news situation, but given the bad news that I got yesterday, in comparison, having asthma really isn't that bad because in a way it's kind of a good thing. So, obviously getting diagnosed with new things is never fun, never something you wish for, but in this case, seems kind of like more of a good thing than a bad thing. So I'm going to try to stay positive on that front. So that has been the update for the day. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to contribute to, to encourage me, to encourage this channel, you can do so via the GoFundMe link in the description of this video. If you want to help spread this message to more people, you have either ideas or strategies on how to do that, or someone who can help me do that, feel free to let me know in the comments. And once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of this YouTube family. I love you all very much, and I'll see you in the next video.